folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanded Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. Just, it's like I never left. No, Yub Nub has a week's worth of bologna in his closet right now. He'll be fine. Folks, we're talking about the third Hungarian Han Solo book. This one is called Han Solo and the Bounty Hunters. This one takes place after the first one in the series. Remember, the second one was kind of a prequel to that kind of bridged, I guess, the two novels. And this one takes place right as the last one left off. So, in this one, the bounty, you think, oh, Han Solo, I thought Han Solo versus the bounty hunters, right? Maybe bounty hunters are going to be going after him for something he did, and it's going to be all, Han and facing these wild new bounty hunters that we've never seen before, and maybe outsmarting them. And no, he just teams up with one of them. And I guess this was from, it's been so long since I've read the other one, so I'm guessing this is the same guy from the other one called Go Rain. I think it's Go, G-O, and then there's a space, and then Rain, R-E-I-N. So I guess that's how I'm going to pronounce it, Go Rain. Go Rain. It's not sound like they're cheering for him or something. But anyway, Go Rain says Han has to come with him on a mission to do something, but it's not clear what. The book is not very clear on this. In fact, so far, out of the ones I've read, this is probably the weakest one. There's a lot of things structurally wrong with the book that you don't see in some of the other books. I'm kind of confused by that. Meaning the dialogue is very wooden, kind of straightforward. In my copy, even in the AI copy, it is. So I don't know if someone else had taken over and written this book and just didn't do a good job. It doesn't have that same feel as the other books had, at least in my opinion. Chewbacca laughs at the mention. Han Solo mentions that they burned someone up with Russ, I think it was. They burned Russ up with the cargo dock. Maybe it was in this book. Maybe it wasn't in the last book. I think it was in this book that they do. And Chewie laughs because death is funny. I don't know. I mean, I can't remember. Like Han says he killed someone and Chewie laughs like, yeah, we killed him good or something. That's not like Chewie. But old school Chewie probably would have laughed at that, so who knows. Go Rain basically says we can't take the Millennium Falcon. We got to take this thing called the Star Rider. It's really just a bulk freighter, and it is truly a hunk of junk. Like it looks like that on the inside and the out. It just keeps falling apart on them. But they can't use the Millennium Falcon because it may be noticed by someone. So Han has to get in this hunk of junk. Now he also says the classic phrase, I have a bad feeling about this. I actually like that. Some of the bad stuff, there's a lot of bad stuff in this one that I really don't like. This one introduces a dark Jedi called the First. And there's a first and then there's a second. I don't know exactly who those are. Thanks to all the faulty pronouns in this book. This book goes, he said this, then he said this, then he responded, and then he said this. I was like, who's talking? I had no idea. I'm so confused. So at first, like Go Rain, you thought was the traitor. But then he turns out not to be the traitor. He's been hired by the Emperor to take out the First, who's a dark Jedi, who originally was, if I'm reading this right, Casper, who was someone who was with Han Solo's crew at the beginning of the book. And then Casper kind of like disappears. I don't know where he goes. He just kind of falls off the face of the planet, and then it's revealed that Casper is a dark Jedi. I'm guessing because someone says he can't believe, he didn't even know Casper, the First was Casper, I think is how it's translated. And again, in both copies, my copy and the AI copy, it basically said the same thing. So it is kind of confusing on that, and that's because of all the faulty pronouns. We don't know who he is referring to half the time here. And so the First killed 3 of the Emperor's apprentices, which I'm assuming that could be Inquisitors, right? So all these Inquisitors, maybe someone, a bad Jedi, already turned even more bad and killed 3 of the Inquisitors from the Emperor. So the Emperor put out a hit on him, and Go Rain is supposed to take him out. And of course, they don't get to take him out. Now, here is a classic example of why this book never would have been released this way if Lucasfilm had been in charge. They never would have allowed Han Solo to interact with the Jedi at this stage. It would just never would have happened. So reading this really took me out of the storyline, and I was very disappointed that, I think they missed the whole point. They thought putting a Dark Jedi in there and having Han go up against one, because even the Dark Jedi turns on Chewbacca. Oh, there's one where I guess he killed one of his friends, but I don't know which one, because it said he killed him or whatever. And Han looked at his body and shed a big tear. I'm guessing Han shed a big watery tear, it says. It was really funny. I was like, okay, who died? I still don't know. It looks like everyone else is alive. But he goes after Chewbacca, and he's singeing his fur, but Chewbacca's able to dodge a Dark Jedi, I guess. And then he tells Han, watch this. I'm gonna make a move, a special death move that Obi-Wan Kenobi taught. He thought it was of the light side, but it was of the dark. Aha! And I mean, like, woo. That's bad dialogue. And again, that's in both copies. It's just bad. It's just bad writing overall. It just like I'm gonna make a dark cut on him. It was something that was created by Obi-Wan that he taught me. Okay, Obi-Wan taught you. I don't know. They don't even go into explaining that. And he goes, he thought it was for good, but it's of the dark side. I can see that being translated exactly that way. Later on, Han gets captured by the Imperials. There's a new young captain, and I like this. The governor, the old captain dies in the battle, the Star Destroyer, and so he promotes a young captain, but he wants to make sure this guy will be faithful. You know, because if I promote you, you report to me, not to the Empire. You know, you report to the governor. He's like, sure. Now I know, can a governor or local moth promote someone? Maybe in the field, possibly. There could have been something in the Imperial Handbook that said that. Either way, this young cadet is now the captain of the Star Destroyer. Why? Because the governor wants to control him. And it's a decent story. I kind of like that idea. This young captain captures Han at the end of the book, says, you will tell me, we need to find where that bounty hunter is. Because the first escapes. I don't know what happens to him. Like I said, the book is not very well written. And that's in both copies. My copy, my translation, and the AI version. They're both just kind of, it's a big question mark toward the end of what really went on. And but now they want to know where the whereabouts of the bounty hunter is. Go Rain. Why? The Emperor hired him. Did you not know that? Are you looking for, did he do something to betray the Emperor and now he's on the Empire's hit list? I don't know. I don't know. It's so confusing. I will be honest though, there are two parts in this that I laughed out loud. I laughed out loud. One is at the very end of the book, Han's friends are in the Millennium Falcon and they're going to go on a rescue mission. It ends on a cliffhanger as they're going to rescue Han from the Star Destroyer. But he said, hey, I got this new droid. And the new droid walks out and is like, wow, this is great. Can it talk? And the droid looks at him and goes, asshole. Wait, what? Again, this is something Lucasfilm would never have approved. But then the guy goes, hey, he likes you. He goes, yeah, whatever. Like I said, the dialogue is so wooden. It's really awful. But the droid just turns to him and goes, asshole. I can kind of see that, and that's actually kind of funny to me. And I burst out laughing. And the other one, and this one, and it's so wild because this is probably one of the most charming moments. And it almost felt a little bit, it felt like just like the original Han and Chewie. I mean, it captured the essence of them. This book that is so terribly written has one of the best scenes in the Hungarian Han Solo series because Han and Chewie are pinned down. They're firing at these bad guys. Chewie's roaring like he's all pissed. Like how can we trust the bounty hunter? Right now they think Go Rain betrayed them. At first they thought he was a traitor, and he's pissed at Han. And Han's and Chewie's like they're shooting at us. And then Han says, well, why don't you lay down in the carpet? Maybe they won't see you. Because they're inside of this palace or whatever. I guess it's got a fuzzy carpet. Man, I can see Han saying that to Chewie. And then Han just Chewie kind of barks something back and then starts firing his bowcaster again. And that moment where they're in the thick of things and they're arguing and they're making heated jokes at each other as they're shooting at Imperials, that is Han Solo and Chewie back in the good days. That was a golden moment in a book that is not really that good. And the only reason why, because the dialogue's so wooden, the faulty pronouns, that so confuses you of what is going on. I even read both versions of the AI version in my translated copy, and I still don't know the reason why they went out. It seems maybe there's a promise in the prior book. Maybe I'm forgetting something, and that could be possible. But either way, Han Solo and the Bounty Hunter, so far, my least favorite. All right, folks, that's it for now. I'll see you next time.